Hi, I'm Dr. Brad Nelson.
And I'm Jean Nelson.
We're here to tell you about the Emotion Code, what it is, where it came from, and how it can help you to live a life free of mental and emotional and physical symptoms. The Emotion Code came about during the years that I was in practice as a holistic chiropractic physician. I spent 17 years in that practice, seeing people of all ages with all kinds of mental and physical and emotional problems. And because it was really an answer to prayer, a literal answer to prayer, that got me into the healing arts, when I got into practice, I developed this habit of asking for help with each person that I saw. Now, this was a totally private, totally personal thing. No one ever knew that I was asking for help from up above, but I was. And there were times when someone would come in to see me and I didn't know how to deal with what their problem was. I didn't know how to approach it when I would ask for help, and suddenly I would be filled with knowledge about what to do and how to help them and how to look at their problem. And that's really where the Emotion Code came from, was asking for help from up above so that I could help my patients. As time went on, it became clear to me that this method that I had developed, or that had really been shown to me, was not just for me, and it wasn't just for my patients, it was really for the whole world. And so that's why we now have the Emotion Code book, and that's why we're here today to explain this to you. I'm so grateful for the influence that my wife, Jean, has had on the development of the Emotion Code.
There were lots of mentors along the way and lots of study too. You know, things come step by step when you're learning something new. And that was one of the things also that brought the Emotion Code to us, that knowledge.
In fact, one of the most powerful things that we have learned is about the heart wall. And that all started with a dream that Jean had.
Right. One night we were staying at a hotel. Brad was going to be speaking at an event. And I had this dream, and I knew when I had the dream that it was very significant to my health. And so when I woke up, I just said to Brad, can you help me figure out what this means? You know, there were some symbols in the dream, and we figured them out. And we kind of had to pray about it a little bit because it just didn't come naturally. We had to, really dig for the answers. As soon as we figured out the symbols in the dream and what they meant, Brad had an experience that was really mind-blowing.
When we got to the last symbol from her dream, I suddenly had this experience that I can only describe to you as a waking vision, where suddenly I saw this beautiful hardwood floor in front of me, and instead of the room that I was in, I'm looking at this incredibly beautiful floor. It's the most beautiful floor I've ever seen in my life. It looked like it had 1,000, maybe 1,000,000 coats of polish on it. It was unbelievable looking. And at the same time that I'm seeing this floor, I have this understanding in my mind that my wife's heart is underneath this floor. And so I had no idea what this meant. She had no idea what it meant either when I explained it to her, what I was seeing and understanding. This lasted for several minutes. And what we ultimately found was that when she was 2 years old, being in a kind of a volatile, somewhat dysfunctional family, she had felt like her heart was going to break as a child. And so her subconscious mind put up a wall around her heart to protect her heart from being totally broken. That's what we were being shown. And in the beginning, I thought that she might be the only person on earth that has this phenomenon going on, which we now call a heart wall. We now know that 93% of people on the planet have a heart wall, because when you feel like your heart is going to break, your subconscious mind will often put up a wall, and that wall is literally made from the energy of your emotional baggage, from your trapped emotions. When that wall is taken down and that wall is removed, it can make a big, big change for people. It made a big change for you.
Right. I never felt like I was part of a group. I always felt awkward and disconnected from the world, from people. And after I had that heart wall taken down, it was just such a palpable difference. I really could tell that it was gone, because I just felt connected, like I belonged, like I was part of humanity, and it was a wonderful feeling.
We've seen some incredible things happen with the heart wall. We have found that people often fall in love who never thought they would. Not long after we discovered this together, there was a patient that came in to see me. She came in for neck pain. She'd seen a couple of doctors, hadn't been able to help her. And as I'm talking with her, she's telling me that she's a nurse. She's 38 years old. She's single. She has not dated in 8 years, and she's never going to date again. She's going to die single. And she was dead serious about this. And she was an attractive person, and I said, well, why do you feel this way? What happened to you? And she said that 8 years before, she was really deeply in love with this guy who dumped her and broke her heart. So I tested her using the emotion code and found that she had a heart wall. There were 3 emotions making up this wall, 3 layers, 3 trapped emotions. And they all had to do with that breakup from 8 years before. So I cleared those 3 emotions, and suddenly the neck pain was gone. And it was actually, the neck pain was being caused by the heart wall. And so the neck pain was gone, and she left the office feeling totally fine. She came back in 3 months later, and I'll never ever forget this. She looked great, and I said, "Hey, you look great. I haven't seen you for a while. How are you doing?" She said, she said, "My neck's been fine since I was here. But," she said, "you removed that heart wall from me, and that really works." She said, "About 2 weeks after I was here, I found out that my childhood sweetheart has been living right around the corner from me for almost 8 years, and we're dating, and we're in love, and I think he's going to ask me to marry him." And this is the kind of thing that happens when this wall is taken down, because you see, that heart within each of us is really truly the core of our being and the seat of the soul and the source of our love and creativity and the source of romance and everything else. So if you've got a wall around your heart, you've got to take down that wall and unlock that heart and open that heart again so that you can give and receive love freely, and so that you can really manifest that perfect blueprint that is inside of you so that it can manifest into the world and you can create the life that you're meant to create.
Right. Who doesn't want to feel more love in their life and be able to feel all the positive emotions that we can feel? I felt that I was able to feel more after my heart wall was removed. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to feel happy emotions and joy and love, and to have the negative emotions diminish.